Test. Test. Sorry there was no audio. My mistake. I think we have to start over. So, yeah, someone's talking in the back here. Where is he? Ah, here. All right, I shut this guy down. It was to prove it works. Back to the beginning.
La 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 la.
La 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 la.
La 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 la.
La 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 la.
Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another Micromotor workshop. It's the pre-Christmas edition. Who's talking there again? How did you get of Paul's? So yeah, it's only beginning of November, but you know, the shops have Christmas decorations since Easter, and Micromotor Santa needs to start working early to get stuff delivered in time. And since John recently discovered a couple of ancient brains somewhere deep in Santa's catacombs, yeah, we got to do something about that. So there's a whole bunch of these very old, square, classic flight controllers. Presumably, some that Lance has still been holding in his hands at some stage. They have magically disappeared, and I forgot about them. But yeah, they reappeared recently again. So we got to find a way to give them away to those who need them. I'm not totally sure who that's going to be, because most of those who have one, who need one, already have one, and those who just want to fly, it might not be the best choice. So you somehow gotta be a weird nostalgic person to want one of these ancient flight controllers 2 years after the hype. Yeah, I think we will find someone. You can help me with that by making suggestions. Who should get them and why? In the meantime, I come to the main topic for today, because that's also been one of the topics what has occupied my time for the largest part of the last 2 weeks, which is flying and hacking the custom hoop. So before I get to that, let's have a quick look in the chat room who has already appeared there. And if you haven't yet, you might want to check out the link that I posted in the chat on the YouTube video, because it leads to this Discord chat here. That's where the elf crew is hanging out and will help me to prepare the Christmas gifts, for at least some of them, for this year. Welcome Madman and Pilsner Poppers. Pilsner Popper, the part of the old crew, hanging in the back of the class and making smart comments and throwing spitballs. Despotic. Welcome, my friend. I haven't seen you here before. Yes, I think M50X. Exactly, ATH-M50X. Closed studio headsets. Quite affordable and great quality. Uber J. Welcome, Uber J. Someone's complaining about 8-bit cards. What?
Doesn't matter how much bandwidth you have to the processor. Only flight matters.
Scotty. Welcome, Scott. Yeah, I hope we can fix those mad BeeBrains. I like your profile picture, by the way. Is that how you look? I like it. Another madman. Mr. Rubble? Where's Mr. Rubble? Here. He's not green yet. You mighty elves, please make him green. Brady and Jason, welcome back. Sorry, Jason, I've seen you messaging me something. I didn't check yet. Oh, I remember. It says in the notification that you want to have of the hex brains. You see, I think I have. No, he's not in them anymore. I gave one to Reese and he fried it. Oh, here's one more. So yeah, if you are desperate and want to have one of these hex aliens, I have, I think, 2 left. So I think Rob sent me another one, so I'll live. You can come and grab one. For the win. FTW means for the win. Someone hasn't been playing Counter-Strike here, my friend. Dennis TFTB, welcome back. Pilsner Papa wants to know about the Furious Hoop Brain. I don't have one yet, but seems to be a good choice as well. But currently I'm I'm fully loaded with BeeBrains, so let's get to that. Only complacent can make admins? I don't know how this works anymore. I think I've done it at some stage, but for some reason I can't find out how to do it. Roles, and then there's nothing. It's like a bug. I can kick and ban you, Scott, but I cannot elevate you, make you green. So, yeah, those of you who don't know, these people who are green in here have been hanging out here the longest of the time and have elevated privileges to keep this place sane while I focus on the hacking and the entertainment part. So yeah, I think we have enough greenies to survive for right now. Let's get moving. So my latest edition of the hoop that I'm flying is this one here. Yeah, sorry, I still can't get closer to the camera. Still haven't replaced this one here, but we'll get to that as well. I ordered more today from B&H. So this is my currently favorite version of the hoop. It's using the E010 frame, the BeeBrain, and I mount this inverted so I can get to the USB plug without hacking this all here apart and making a custom plug and whatnot. And it's using the Bolt Clash F-01 camera, which makes some pretty good picture, and it's a little lighter than the FX798 and the TX01 and whatever cameras we all used to hoop. Which is good because it's yeah, not only smaller but also lighter. It fits between the plugs and also between these plugs and you can't see it on the video, I think, and between the bind button that is on the FrSky BeeBrain. So including the linear, I think, dipole antenna, excluding the heat shrink. They put some heat shrink around there, but I cut this off, saves another 0.2 gram. The camera only weighs 3.5 gram, and the whole quad, including a 205 milliamp battery and some 3D printed bracket to hold it in, weighs 26 gram, which is pretty good considering the extra rigidity you get out of this soft plastic frame compared to the brittle Inductrix frame. Now this particular one, no, it's actually this one here, has died a strange brain death, or maybe it's just sick. I haven't found a cure yet though. What it does is you throttle it up and it just keeps flying away. There's the throttle response got completely weird and it's not flyable anymore. So I connected it to the GUI and tried to find out if anything there's wrong. I've reset it, I've reflashed it, I chip erased it multiple times. Still not working. So that's why what I actually had planned to show you the flight settings that I have come up with and the resulting flight behavior. That's not going to happen today, but I'll just connect that thing to the GUI and show you from memory, because yeah, I reflashed it a few times and deleted and reset the settings, etc. From memory, I'll show you a little walk through the brain and show you the values that I like to change to make this thing fly. Well, better is probably subjective, but let's say different. So Scott writes about that in the chat. Yeah, funny enough, I've read Scott's comment in on RC groups about having these problems with his flight controller, and I posted a suggestion what to do. I didn't know that at the same time, looking back, I realized at that time when I posted this, my flight controller already had the exact same issue. I just yeah, put that away, thinking I had some problems with my transmitter or something, flying something else, and then when I came back and tried it again, I realized I can't fix the thing. So Ryan says Scotty should send his one back. Damn, so that means it's broken? Well, that's actually a relieving part as well, because then I don't have to worry about it. I do have some spares. So it took a long time, but I finally received a few spare BeeBrains. Just in case something happens, you know, always going to be on the safe side. If you find a good toy, get some more in case it's getting lost or loses its mind. Yeah, version 1 of the China boards is having issues. Well, actually, I had the beta version, and that still flies pretty good. So, but yeah, well, that actually is true. The beta boards usually fly better than the version 1, the production units. That has been the case in other instances, indeed. Madman's still breathing. That's the beginning of the fun. A few? Damn. Anyway. Complacent has been summoned. Welcome, my friend. Let's get into it. So, these flight controllers are compatible to Clean Flight and Beta Flight. The recommended software is Beta Flight, so I'm using that. The first thing you want to do, if you connect it, is to flash the firmware. So I've done this already, but to make sure that we're on the same page. Look, there's even a dedicated BeeBrain target now. So there's only one version. So that's the recommended one, 3.0.1. So I flashed that already. I don't want to do it. Oh, actually, maybe I should do it again. So we start from the same page. So load firmware online. And then click full chip erase. And yeah, the rest should be fine. Flash. It's a quick flash prayer while it's happening, just to prevent any bad happenings through replacing the main thought process. I think it's done. Successful, it says. And then you can click on connect. As you can see, you see a weird block instead of the typical picture of a quad here. And also you don't see my whole screen. Let me change the window size so you can see it complete. So the reason for this block here is that I'm using a custom motor mix, and yeah, when we do that, there's no proper picture anymore. So yeah, just ignore that. That's normal. It comes from me hacking around in the motor mix, because I'm putting this flight controller, as I said, upside down, and that means, well, you could still route this wire then over here, but yeah, I didn't want to do that, but I wanted to connect this motor here, etc. So in order to do that, you need to change the channel assignment of the motors, and that requires some command line voodoo. I have saved the commands here. So this is basically the standard motor mix, but I change 2 and 0 and 3 and 1. So the original motor mix looks like the stock motor mix looks like that: 0, 1, 2, 3. So the only thing I did is change 0 with 2 and change 1 with 3, and then you take this blurb and copy it into the command line, and then, very important, hit save. It'll reboot, and you get the weird block, and you can run your flight controller upside down. What you also need to do to change the orientation is change the roll by 180 degrees. Again, save and reboot. From there, you will have pretty much stock settings with inversion. Now there's a few more things that I like to change to make this thing fly as I like it. So it flies pretty well in rate mode out of the box, but I found angle mode is pretty bad. I'm not sure if that's a general beta flight problem. I didn't find much about it because, you know, all the cool boys fly in rate mode, so there's not much that I found about angle mode. Just usually people complain about it and say it's not good, but no one is doing something about it. But just flies rate mode, you know, which is fair enough, which is one approach to it. But I wasn't happy with that, so I went to further investigations in the command line. So if you want to hack around on the flight controller, the first thing you might want to do is just type dump into the command line, and you get a whole lot of stuff coming out of here. There's a few interesting things that you might want to change. Depending on your transmitter, you might want to change the min check and max check values. For some reason, my transmitter only goes down to 1180 something, but it goes above 1900. So I like to change the min check to 1200. On most of these values here, you just copy the whole line, change it to whatever you want to, hit return, and then save. You don't have to do this after everyone, but before you leave, you need to hit save in the CLI, otherwise these values go back to where they have been before. So dump again, and then look for some more interesting values. One what I always like to change is this one here, set max angle inclination. That's usually set to something around 400 or 500 on most flight controllers. This one here, I was positively surprised to already found it set to 700, which is already a better value. That means that you, in theory, can angle the quad in angle mode to 70 degrees, which I still not find enough, but that's better than 45 degrees. So I went and, well, when I've seen that, I thought, oh, yeah, just leave it like that and try how that flies. And I couldn't get it to angle more than 45 degrees. So I thought, oh, maybe it's for some reason subtracting some angles from that value. So just let's make it higher. I set it to 900, which is 90 degrees. Still didn't get much better. So I wanted to set it to even higher values, like maybe 120 degrees. Doesn't make much sense, but just figuring it out. So I put, why do you not copy this? Copy, paste. Oh, here we go. So the problem is if you set it above 900, it comes back and says allowed range is 10 to 900. That means you can adjust the maximum inclination angle, in theory, between 10 and 900. But for whatever reason, there seems to be a bug or something in the firmware, because it doesn't do that. It stays at a maximum inclination angle of, I would say, around 50 degrees. That's not good. The only way I found to fix that is if you go to PID tuning and change the PID controller from Betaflight to Legacy, however you pronounce that. That makes it work, the maximum inclination angle, as intended. Has probably some other disadvantages, I don't know, but yeah, until the default stock Betaflight PID controller doesn't listen to the maximum inclination angle, I'm using Legacy. And then, yeah, I changed a few other values. I'm not 100% sure which values I ended up with, but I'll just do it out of memory now. And you can use that as a starting point. In a couple of days, weeks, I might have an update on this. So you can just leave those values here as they are. They are pretty good. Your jump prevention, I don't think that's needed. RC rate can be a little higher, like 1.4. And I think yaw needs to be even higher, 1.8. And all these things here, I set them all to 0. Super rate, I don't understand it exactly, but I think it's somehow changing the PIDs based on your stick position. I don't think you need that. Well, I don't need that. I like to have direct control, so I remove all these expo things on pitch and roll. On the yaw, it's still useful, I think, because the yaw is still acting relative as opposed to absolute. So that makes it a little harder to fly without expo. I set that to 33%. I think that's it. I think that's the only values I changed. So, yeah, that should be it. Save. Then in modes, give some arm range. Air mode is always good. I'll leave it on the switch. Auxiliary 2. and then I usually just permanently enable angle mode. Save. Quick look through. Then you calibrate the accelerometer and are ready to go. Should put it on a level surface before you do that. Ports, yeah, whatever, seems to work. Configuration. Yeah, I'll experiment with putting the PWM frequency up because it's annoying if it's at 4 kilohertz. But apart from that, I think it's fine. All the rest just stay it as is. We can enable air mode permanently if you want to. I don't like that. I like to be able to fly without air mode to make it quicker to switch the motors off when I fly around people, and I like to switch it on when I want to go all crazy. So yeah, these are my preliminary BeeBrain settings, which will be further fine-tuned on my new custom hoop. This one here. After this guy here lost its brain. Any questions, my friends? Please ask them now. I mean, you can also ask them just in the, if you see this recording of the stream, you can just ask them in the video comments, and I will look at them when I do my next BeeBrain related episode. But if you ask them now, I'll answer them now. So let's have a look in the chat room. What's going on here? Madman has some Maui Big Swell. Prost. Jason, it's Jason's birthday? I'll have to come up with something for that. Open Fun asked me what I think about this thing here. That looks pretty cool. What is it? Looks like a pretty neat frame with a sky, whatever it's called. And one of these, I think, 170-degree lenses on there. I'm not sure about the mounts, Hoopen Fun says. Please try it out. It's to Fire 104 from Banggood. To Fire 104? What is that? Banggood. Banggood.com. Online shopping for cool gadgets. Come on. Fire 104. Micro FPV racing quadcopter BNF 650 TVL based on NACE 32 flight controller DSM2 transmitter. Well, it rolls just off the tongue. What an awesome title for a product. Fire 104 Micro FPV Racing Quadcopter BNF 650 TVL based on NACE 32 flight controller DSM transmitter. No, I haven't heard that before. Oh, here's a video about it from Touch RC. Looks pretty cool with those. Oh, look, it even connects to the frame. That's pretty neat. Let's have a look if they... use the same polarity as we do. Can I please have a motor? Here. So, yeah, should be good. And so polarity is the same. So look, looks like 8mm motors to me. Let's have a look in the description. 37 gram, not including battery. That's probably more like, no, it's 8520 brush motor, they say. But they also say transmission distance 800 meters, so who knows? You can use our 820 motors, I'm pretty sure, but I recommend to replace the battery plug. This is the micro low C Valcara plug. It's not beefy enough to run the currents through that we need for 4-piece powerful 8.5mm motors. That'll be a bottleneck. It'll work, but I suggest you use the red JST plugs. Apart from that, looks like a pretty neat setup to me. I'll probably use different props than these. They're usually not good. And also when you install them, make sure that you don't do it like Banggood and leave a gap in here, but drill the props a little bit so they sit flush against the motor housing. The shafts on these motors have a little bit of axial play, so if you install the motors flush onto the flag controller, flush onto the motor, when you install the props flush onto the motor, there will still be a tiny bit of play. See if you can see that. And that means if you spin up the prop, actually lift off the motor and create no friction. But if you crash it, the prop hub hits the motor can instead of the force being translated onto the brushes and the commutation. Apart from that, looks like a fun toy to me. Anyone else get rid of the stock connectors? Says Despotic. What is that? Can't really see what you've done here, but you have somehow mounted different plugs to it. Have a closer look here. I can't see what that is. Is that micro DIN connectors? I don't like DIN plugs. I don't know exactly why, but for some reason I didn't like them. I think they were a pain in the behind to solder. So that's why I went for all my larger packs, like 2S car packs and things. I went to EC5 plugs instead. So, Scott, I give air mode, as I said, I give it an extra switch so I can fly with air mode and without. If it's on and you drop the throttle, then as air mode is intended to, it does not stop the props spinning. But if I fly somewhere where I am very likely to crash or fly into people, I just prefer the ability to drop the throttle and immediately the motors stop spinning. That's the only reason for it. And if you don't fly at the limit, you don't need air mode. Air mode is especially useful, I find, when you want to dive and still have control of it. So you can drop the throttle completely, get the maximum descending speed, but still be able to control things. It also helps a lot with yaw stability. If you don't enable air mode and do a high angle dive, I found that many times it kind of drifts off at the yaw, and yeah, so I like to have it at a switch. Still saying hoop. Yeah, that's just how I learn. Most of my English I learn from reading it, and then I make up my own pronunciation of things, and then it's hard to change that. JD Buckman is asking if I tried larger batteries, like 260 and 300 milliamp on the custom frame. No, I didn't. I think 200 milliamp is just fine. But I agree with Disputic that we should have beefier plugs. I didn't get around to hack these batteries yet, because our friends at MyLipo are doing that for us. I heard they will come out soon with these same batteries with beefier plugs. So I'll save my efforts until then, when I can have lots and lots and lots of these packs without hacking all of them apart, because interesting things tend to happen when I modify batteries, so I leave that to the experts. It's probably not as much fun as for you, as much fun as it is for you when I hack these things live on the channel, but yeah, this time I've decided to skip that part of the fun and go straight to flying. So, Banggood Special, the Fire 104. Yeah, sorry, we're lagging behind. A new version. Banggood makes a new version of a white one. The Burcon. The Burcon 120 Sky Micro FPV Racing Quadcopter BNF with OSD based on F-rebrushed flight control board. Well, what a smooth title once more. It's only 120 Aussie bucks, or in harder dollars, 93. You can get it with DSMX, FreiSky, and Futaba receiver. I also cloned the Futaba protocol. And, well, what props did they put on here? That looks like Nano QX props. Also 8.5 millimeter motors. Well, it's heavier apparently, or maybe they just measured more accurately. 44 gram without battery sounds about right to me for a 8.5 millimeter FPV setup. Jason is asking for the live feed address. Thank you, Pills Not Popper. I'm happy to read some more Chinese product names for you, my friend. Blake. Hey, Blake. Welcome back. If you could give me a BeeBrain, that would be great. Exactly, that was thinking for a month and month, but finally they gave me some more. You know, it's a bit mean to send me just one, tease me, and then not send me any more. But yeah, finally the DHL wormhole opened again on, I think on Thursday, and brought me more. Sorry, Jason. You know where to find my live stream. Come on, man. Yeah, let's just mount the battery by putting strain on all of the motor connectors. Yeah, that's actually a good point. That's what they did on this one here, right? Just sort of hooked some rubber bands straight on the plugs. Oh man. So Madman is embarrassed about the mess on his bench. I cleaned extra for you. I've cleaned this half square meter here of the chaos. So it looks like it's all neat and tidy in here. But it's exactly, the chaos starts exactly out of frame in all dimensions. I rest assured, my friend. Should I buy it? Well, you know, there's usually lots of surprises in Banggood packages. Sometimes good, sometimes not so good. These flight controllers seem to work okay, but I have spared myself all the surprises along with that, so I can't really give you a recommendation if you should buy this thing or not. It looks like pretty well thought out in some areas to me, and then a bit weird in others. So, for example, the camera, does it have any angle? You want the camera to be angled pretty steep if you want to fly fast with these things. Also, yeah, the battery mounts are probably not the smartest. The battery that comes included with there is probably pretty weak, like most of them. Yeah, as I said, the props I'd replace with parrot props, or at least drill the hubs. And, well, it looks like carbon fiber, so pretty decent amount of layers, so probably gonna last a while. Some good protection for the electronics in here too. So yeah, I mean, it's a start, and then you see what you like, and you can modify it or buy other things. Yeah, I'd replace the power connector and not use this charger thing here. It's not good for the batteries, and maybe also not good for where you connect this to. So if you actually really want to use it, at least don't plug it into your computer. Just plug it into like a USB charger thing, like from an iPad or something. I don't trust these charging contraptions without a voltage display at all. All of them they go straight into a box. Oh look, you get extra rubber bands. So yeah, always enjoy with care. Ready to fly things from Banggood are sometimes flying out of the box. Microdeans, Despotic says. Yeah, I'm sure they are better to deliver the power out of these little batteries than these micro JST 1.25 plugs. They're not made for the currents we want to pull through them. Even though they do alright with that, up to like 3 to 5 amps, but the main issue with putting them on batteries is they're not made to be plugged in and out many times, and usually the power connector on the flight controllers will wear out pretty quickly, and you have to replace it frequently. And it's just, always comes at the worst time that this thing gives up, and then especially unpleasant in combination with the low voltage circuit on the blade flight controllers. A little larger plug, like for example the MCPX plug, also called JST-PH 2.0. The plug that we have on batteries for little larger quads. Blade puts them on their larger helis, not on the Nano, but the next size helis and the Glimpse and the Nano QX2. The Alias has them on the motors. That plug is probably better than this one, and not as heavy as the Microdean's plug. But yeah, we'll see. So this Workbench is overwhelming too. Welcome to the club. How come that my Parrot looks clean and yours looks like a storage facility for hot glue? Here's my latest Parrot. Oh, here, it's not done yet. Supposed to carry a 720 milliamp my LiPo pack, and has the flight controller underneath. There's not a single piece of hot glue on this thing. I epoxied that. I tried this fancy UV glue, but at first it stinks, and second it doesn't work properly. It doesn't really bond the plastic together as well as epoxy. Oops. 5-minute epoxy from Hobby King. If you want one, Jason, I have so much of it because at some stage I wanted to order 10, and I think I've put an additional 0 in there. I have a lot of Hobby King hot epoxy glue. You can have some of that if you want to. Oh, I have a tip on that, by the way. Damn, it's hot under this head. Some of you might know, in Australia, Christmas is in summer. We also call that the silly season. So it's pretty silly to wear a hat like that in summer. But yeah, something needs to be done. So you get 2 types of cheap epoxy at Hobby King. 30 minutes and 5 minutes. The 30-minute stuff has one brown element and one clear, and the 5-minute stuff has 2 clear elements. They thought they'd be smart and connect these 2 pusher things at the back. Also, there's like a strip in the middle which you have to crack out before you can push it in. What's that? Some hairs from my head. So you have to crack this out so you can push it in at all. And then the intention of this being connected is that you push out the same amount of stuff from both tubes, but that never works. So they have actually never tested that. If you push it in, there's always coming a different amount of stuff out of both ends. So what you got to do is snip it apart in the back and push them separately. You know, I mean, it's good that they are both in a combined tube, but you have to hack them apart to make these things work properly. But then, yeah, it's pretty good glue, and it's cheap. And since Hobby King charges so much for shipping, whenever I'm forced to order something there, I fill my basket with cheap stuff like wires. They have pretty good silicon wire, epoxy, but now I have so much epoxy that, yeah, I don't buy epoxy there anymore. Depending on the shelf life, maybe in 10 years again. I've probably used like 2 or 3 of them over the years. You don't need much of them. It's, yeah, pretty good glue. I primarily use the 5-minute epoxy because I'm rather impatient. I want to fly and not wait for the glue to dry. And they also have good heat shrink for cheap. So that's why my parrot looks nice and clean. What is that? What is what? I hope I already answered the question, Francisco. And if you have no play in the shaft, it's a sign you need to replace the motor. That's right. If it doesn't have play, it's usually broken. Yeah, I'm sure microDeans can handle more power. Let's see, what are they rated for? MicroDeans current. How many amps is too much? 10 amps, someone is asking. And this is here probably for the large Deans, which should take a lot more current, like, I don't know, 20, 50, 10 amps. Seems low. wsdeans.com, apparently. Deans Ultra Plug. About Deans products. Products, plugs. Oh, they have lots of plugs. You can have this many connectors too, oh really? Oh. Really small. Click here for pricing. Deans announces the Miracle plug. They announced the Miracle plug connector series. Designed for many popular models, including blah 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 blah. Click here for more information. They don't tell us how much current is supposed to go through there. 155 for what? For one? I don't think I'm going to use them. Not hating. You can do whatever you want, my friend. I just like to do something else. It's different flavors. Only because someone likes a different flavor. No hate needs to be exercised. Live and let live. Fly and let fly. Dean and let Dean. But yeah, you know, whatever works for you. It looks like you've done this very well, and I'm sure it will work much better than the little 1.5mm disposable plugs. Before and after, how much weight was only 0.1 of a gram. Well, that's good enough. Well done. Trying to disarm with stick commands with air mode is entertaining. Yeah, indeed, I can imagine that. I'm always using stick switches, two switches for arming and disarming. 2 switches required for arming, flicking 1 switch required for disarming. So I have one on the right hand for disarming and one on the left hand for disarming. My main motivation for that was when my son figured out how to arm my quadcopters. I lost one in consequence of that, so since then there's a secret arming trick on my transmitter. Click, cluck, and throttle down. And then when you let go, while you in panic jump off the transmitter, you can flick one of these switches. And not only does my switch disarm or send the disarm command to the flight controller, it also drops the throttle to 0. Scott says whooping is fun, but he gets terrible flight times. With this setup, which is 19,000 kV motors, chopped propellers, and a little better power plug than it is on the Inductrix flight controller. When using 205 milliamp batteries, I get around 3 minutes and 15 seconds of flight time, but at that point it really has no power anymore at all, and the battery sits at around 3.1 volts. So practically you get around 2.5 minutes out of this setup, but you can increase flight time by using slower motors. These are pretty inefficient. So I think the best compromise between flight time and power is 17,000 kV motors plus 2-bladed propellers. So these are the I-Ching propellers, and I just chop 2 of the blades off. I take no, not this one. I take a Lexan scissor. You can probably use, I don't know, nail clippers or some other scissors or whatever. I just happen to have these. They're used to cut Lexan bodies for RC cars. And yeah, because of the short front and the long back, they have a good lever to chop through all sorts of plastic. And then I use an X-Acto knife to shave off the excess. Yeah, that gives you good 2 minutes. So I usually fly for 2 minutes. So that I have a little bit of a reserve. But yeah, I by accident tested that a few times last weekend, and with 19,000 kV motors and this setup here, I have repeatedly come to 3 minutes and 15 seconds. How do I know this so exactly? I have a timer on my Tyrannus set for 2 minutes, so I usually fly for 2 minutes and then I land exactly, that's at least what I try most of the times, exactly when she says 0. And then sometimes I forget to reset the timer, and then I land, crash. And then the timer counted negative, and then I wake up out of the matrix again and look at the timer, and it says 3 minutes, 15 seconds. Said that a few times, so that's why now so precisely. Usually I time my flights more conservatively. Yeah, 1/10 of a gram. Not gonna do much. Scott likes 260 milliampere. 300 is too much. Despotic asks what plug my LiPo will put on there. I think they'll come out with different versions of the battery, but from what I've heard, the MCPX plug will be part of the lineup. What? The bus ate Jason's squad? That's sad. Wow. Something's broken here. Let's see if we can find something that's not broken here. So, pretty sure the VTX is shot. Well, the frame is, I guess can be fixed, but they cost $1.49. I have some more of those. The motors are pretty sure toast. The props are gone and broken. The canopy is broken. The freight controller probably is broken. The camera seems to be okay. Which is a bummer because it's one of the worst parts on this quad. Yeah, Jason, I have some more parts for you if you want. T-Mart refused to ship me the Bolt Clash F01 cameras. I went paranoia trigger again and ordered 20 of them. And then they sent me a message saying I should send them a copy of the paperwork transaction and a copy of my driver's license. What the heck? I sent you money already. Yeah, medic is required. Minion down. Not much to save. Jason, you shouldn't fly on the street. It's too dangerous. All these buses around. I had one of my Reggae Sharks run over. Not by a bus, but a regular car. But it was pretty flat as well. Excellent vocabularic skills I have. Very good reading. Thank you. Mr. Rubble makes some more custom Rubblecopters. 26.9 gram and with larger props. But I think it doesn't include a battery, right? Is it 6mm motors? Hard to tell. I don't know of any of these shaped props that fit on 6mm props. And also I think with 6mm motors it's a little heavy. So it's probably 7mm motors on this quad. 26.9 gram. Reminds me of something that I wanted to show you. I made this one here. Look at the clearance of the props. They just passed the camera here. They just passed the camera here. And it just not passes the camera here, so it's angled a little bit. But the prop passes underneath the camera. Let's see how heavy this thing is. Oh, that's 47 and a half. Is that right? Nah, something is wrong. I think this scale is cheating. This one should weigh 26. It says 46 as well. I think the scale is broken. I have some more of them somewhere. Not here. So use this as a calibration weight. Yeah, 26 it says. Okay, cool. This one is 26.9. Not sure if you can see this at all. You have to trust me on this, I believe. So 0. Can see it? No. Sorry. So, yeah, this thing weighs 26.9 fill. So, that's why I think this is 7mm motor is what you have on this quad here. Oops, where did I go? I've ridden a couple, MMW 14 and 17, currently running 14,800 from Tiny Whoop. Yeah, I think they have some pretty good motors. 15,000 kV should be about right for the hoop for regular hooping around the house. I think that's a pretty good speed, more efficient than the 17,000s. Hoo-hoo, Ken is late but present, as well as Drone Junkie. Welcome, my friend. Thanks for staying up in the middle of the night to join the party. Complacent would put $5 on the scale. I don't have $5, and even if I would have, I think $5 only come in note form in Australia. So, but you know, just I'm using microquad parts to calibrate my scale. So if I use one of these 205 milliamp batteries, it weighs 6 grams on one scale and 10 grams on the other. So something must be wrong. Yeah, exactly. That's how you know it's a Banggood package. Well, I guess lots of the other China sellers are doing that as well. It's like foam wrapped, then a piece of brown or yellow tape around it. Sometimes you get clear tape as well, and then you get a black garbage bag around it. Drone Junkie has something good here. I've seen many pictures of these frames. They look pretty neat. Power hoop. Jason is asking about the UD microquad. Never heard of that. Got a link. Gemma doesn't like Banggood rubbish. Banggood search engine sucks. Well, it usually works quite well. Just gotta know what to look for. But, you know, they have many words in their product titles, so there's many opportunity to find stuff. If not, just search like that. Search for example, let's see if they already have this bolt clash thing. F1 site banggood.com. What's that? EF01 and a pads manager. The F01 pad manager. Pads manager digital invisible behaviors indoor fencing device. Sounds like I need that. So let's search for bolt clash. Doesn't have that. So I tried to buy mine from T-Mart. So if you just price this tmart.com, comes up with this. But yeah, they want to have my driver's license now. I'm not sure when I give them a copy of my driver's license. A crook. A crook sounds good. Drone junkies selling Spec 80 Rotorius frames. Serving enthusiasts quality upgrades to those who are seriously addicted to flight. Spec 80 Rotorius frame for 22 pounds. Looks pretty good. Gemma likes it. Exactly. Thanks for the picture. Why is it so small? These are MCPX, aka JSTPH 2.0 plugs. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to be on the next generation of 205 milliamp batteries from my LiPo. Yeah, are they selling this already? I've signed up for notifications of the FatBee, I think it's called. So FatBee site banggood.com. Camblebee dog closes coat puller flea puppy dog coat. Und schneiden Sie Bumblebee Cat Hundebekleidung. Oh, really? Where's that? Here. Schneiden Sie Bumblebee Cat Hundebekleidung Coat Polar Fleece Hündchenmantel. Well, that looks similar to what I wanted. Not exactly the same, but it's only $3 or $4. It's on special. But no FatBee. FatBee, I said. No. B quadcopter. Do you still have the B core? It's probably still not available. Oh, jetzt kaufen. Ich kann schon jetzt kaufen. Why is it German? Ichin B Core F3 Evo gebürstet. Acro Flight Control Board für Inductrix Tiny Whoop Ichin E010. Let's see if they fixed the description by now. Beachten Sie, Produktfotos sind der Beta-Board. Wird letzte Brett sehen ein bisschen anders mit einigen Designverbesserungen wie die Platzierung der USB-Port im bestzugänglichen Ort. Now that's some funny stuff here. They copied the sentence from Newbie Drone and then some Chinese guy translated from one language he doesn't speak into another one. That's some entertainment value right here. Should I read some more of that stuff? Dieses Board ist so konzipiert, mit allen BeeDraktix Tiny Hoop Inductrix Setups Ichin E010 ersetzen Sie einfach die aktuelle Board mit unserem neuen B-Core Mainboard und erleben Sie die nächste Stufe der Flugsteuerung zu arbeiten. Drone Junkie is on Facebook a lot, I can confirm that. He lives there. MCPX plugs, I'm sure they're better. But yeah, eventually, everything wears down eventually. Drone Junkie is the master of Formula FPV London, and he's also the creator of some pretty fancy 3D simulations. You should check that out. Hey Chema, do you want to post the 3D thing you've sent me recently on Facebook chat? That was awesome. Yeah, exactly. The plug is just a little bit bigger. And yes, we have put them on, what is that? Madman has soldered one of these plugs straight onto the, I think that's a NanoQ export. And, oh yeah, by the way, it's the same plug, that's why I know it so well. Come off here. Which we put on the power connectors for the Alienware boards. It'll take enough current, and still we are not using this on the Alienware for frequent connecting and disconnecting. Plug this in once, and then this is the plug you frequently connect and disconnect. Anyway, I think it will be much better than the 1.25mm plug. Yep, it's really just a slightly larger version. Apart from that, it looks very similar. Blake is dying to fly. He broke the strut. That's what happens to them all the time. Oh, well done, Scotty. Let us know how this works. I'm pretty sure it's much better. Drone Junkie likes the Multi-Flight FC. Did they do something on it recently? I remember a long time ago they were talking about improving all this and with their embedded VTX, etc. But then I got distracted. Epoxy saves Ken's hoop. Scott is on the trend indeed. Scott makes trends. Wow. Is that your dinner table, Scott? Let's have a look. What's on there? I see a high-tech X4 charger, a soldering station, scissors, difficult to point to the right spot here, some solder flux, a little brushless copter who looks like very beefy motors in there, a Kraken helping hand, magnifying glass, some camera box, lots of good stuff here. A treasure table, I'd call that. Send that epoxy. I can't send it for as little as Hobby King sells the stuff. You can come and pick some up if you want. Passing your driver test. Oh, good luck with that. You can fly your chroma. Yeah, if you have issues with that, damn, you can't drive. Let me know. I'll drive past your place. Not today. Today's busy, but Wednesday's probably a good day. Like my desk at work. Despotic says Picoblade Molex 1.25. It's a different name for the JST 1.25 is rated for 30 connect-disconnect cycles and only 4.2 watts. It's around 1 amp or 1.5 from a 1S pack. Low C mini Molex are rated 40 watts almost. And microDeans are at 42. Oh, really? I think these low C Vakela plugs are rated for 40 watts. I found they get pretty hot if you pump that much current through them. You mean the caps on these epoxy bottles? I found they stay on pretty well. Motor change while watching football. Gotta hurry up a little bit to get to the bottom of it. You guys are typing faster than I can read. Mircodines are rated for 10 amps. Who's winning the messy bench? Jason takes a good stab at that. Let's see, what do we have here? Ooh, a microscope. Solder station. I know that thing. Oscilloscope. Lots of stuff. I think it continues to the left here.
It's 13:30.
13:30, only half an hour over. Let's get moving. I have lots of things to do. So Madman presents his bench. I think that's pretty neat and tidy today. So what do we have here? Complacent shows us a hoop. Hoop with dipole antenna and 2 bladed props. That's the way. You get 1 minute. Yeah, I would suspect old crappy batteries. I hope you have better luck with better batteries. A sad situation making you happy. This reminds me of a fun song. I think I'm not allowed to play this because I don't have any rights for it, but if you want to listen to a funny song, especially funny if you speak German, but I think even funny if you don't, search for Peter Fox Stadtaffe. As I said, I don't think I'm allowed to play this, so let's just not put it in the audio. It's muted. Yeah, awesome song. One of the lines in here is the monkeys are partying even if they are sad. So yeah, this just reminded me that the sad situation makes me happy. A glorious mess of fun. Preach on, brother Xen user. Hey, check out the GW008 props. Same or better thrusts. Xen user. I think on Banggood. Global drone mini skull. Oh yeah, funny mini skull copter. Global drone GW008 mini skull 2.4 GHz 4 channel 6 axis automatic pirate system 3D rolling RC quadcopter. I just want the propellers. Even though yeah, it looks pretty funny to be honest. Yeah, but I just want the props. Come on. GW008. Yeah. Well, lots of people like it. Canada dollars. Why do they always give me different currencies? I think I already bought some. It can't hurt to buy even more. So check out with PayPal, $7.60. Come on. One click buy. Am I logged in? No, 2 click buy. 3 click buy. Processing. Continue. Thank you for shopping with us online. Your order has been placed. Yeah, I think this is a Picnic Quad 80mm frame that I showed you 20 minutes ago. Damn, I gotta hurry up. I'm lagging behind, my friends. Sorry. Plus is good to fly. I like Plus. Madman has also a super small 8mm, I believe, quadcopter here. Ah, here, look at this. Even prop noise it has. Not very loud though. When I've seen this the first time, I thought it's real. And then on the second lap I thought, hang on, it looks all like sort of artificial. And yeah, then I realized it's rendered. It's pretty cool. The flight characteristics just feel very real. That's awesome. I want a tiny hoop simulator. That's pretty cool. I don't know how it does that, but I like it. Mr. Rubble has still some spares left here. Here, Fat Bee. Oh, so it's the Ichin Fat Bee FB0 FB90 micro FPV LED racing quadcopter BNF based on F3 flight controller. Yeah, alert me on arrival. I already said that. Not available yet. And I'm competing with another 1,000 people who want that. I want a Fat Bee. More Deutsch you want? If you give me more Deutsch links to Banggood, I'll read some more Deutsch. I can read you some fairy tales as well if you want to. What I especially like to read is Wilhelm Busch. Wilhelm Busch Gedichte. No, Max und Moritz. Max und Moritz is funny. Max Moritz Gedichte. Erster Streich. Mancher gibt sich viele Mühe mit dem lieben Federvieh. Einstenteils der Eier wegen, welche diese Vögel legen. Yeah, maybe at the end a little bit of that. Let's get moving. Complacent's bench is getting some airtime. The treasure table. Yeah, please tell your wife. I think it's many treasures to be found on this table. Wednesday afternoon should be a good time, Jason. Pretty neat and tidy. That's what I said 6 minutes ago. I'm catching up. Scotty likes GW008 props. Yeah, I think I have some cool 6mm frames that I got from Mr. Wood's turning a long time ago, and I haven't really put them to appropriate use. I think hoop guts and GW008 frame props on a NQXR frame, I think he calls them, should be pretty cool. I was thinking that the sound on the video is actually real. Sound is always important when you make videos. It's underrated. Sound is very important to make the visitor feel there. It's a sim. I can play it. Where do I get it? dronesimulation.co.uk. Professional drone simulation. Fly the simulator flown by the world's top pilots. Start flying today. I'll start flying right now. Monthly contribution license. Single purchase license. Tracks, drones, controller, events, recommended PC specs. Note Mac, although the drone is currently only available for... Oh no. I don't want to run boot camp. I don't want to run boot camp. I'm not going to start flying today. I hate Windows. I don't have any Windows. I don't have any boot camp. I sometimes run, but only with a lot of resistance. I run Windows on the parallels. The current only occasion I use Windows is to flash my Clearview receivers. Anything else I could ban. So please, Gemma, would you make us a macOS version? I'd play this whenever it's too dark to hoop. Ken likes fairy tales in Deutsch. German comedian Martina Hill. I don't know Martina Hill. Apple coming soonish. I'll wait for that. Until then, I will hoop in real life. But yeah, I'm gonna say your simulator looks pretty awesome. It just feels like you'd actually be flying a quad. Very nice. The quad in front of us looked like it had a little bit more angle than it should have. See that again. See how much angle it has? I would expect it to have a little less. See there? Oh, skips 5 seconds. Yeah. FPV Freerider. Yeah, I think that's what I have on. That's what I'm using as well. But yeah, to be honest, Drone Junkie Sim looks more realistic to me. Yeah, Windows. Billy OS. I have been a victim of Billy OS. I've been, yeah, well, I used to be a professional Windows administrator / helpdesk guy for a couple years. At some stage in my life, I installed around 200 Windows PCs per day. We had a pretty good system down with like customized and forgot what it was so long ago. But yeah, we had installers that completely did everything automatically, and we just plugged PCs in and installed them, and the good old times, I'm also glad they're over. Exactly, that's the only thing, that's the main thing what gave it away for me, that when I watched it first, that it's not real, not enough static, although you don't get much static either if you use Clearview receivers, but a little bit of fuzzing and things make it feel more realistic, that's right. Not sure though if I really need that. They rather shoot their time in making a Mac version instead of making static. Yeah, Billy was. I mean, Billy has done some great things for the computer world, but he was also very paranoid. All this copy protection in Billy OS is just so crazy, and it does not affect so much the people who want to steal it. There are millions and millions of especially cracked Windows XP copies out there in the world. I think half of Russia runs on not licensed Windows XP. All this is gone if you use a Mac. Just install it. It doesn't ask for anything. It just sees, oh, here, I'm at home. I'm installing now. Thank you. Da-dum. Yeah, FPV Threader, you can tune it, I believe. You can tune the flight controller in FPV FreeRider to make it feel better. That's cool. Yeah. Unfortunately, Stevie OS is more expensive. Even though you can get the OS for free, the hardware is more expensive. I mean, you can also do a Hackintosh. That's probably what I'd do. If I would be stuck with Billy boxes, make a Hackintosh. Or install something else like Linux on it. But then again, you cannot run Windows-only software. That's the main thing. That's why there's still Windows, because there's software which only runs on Windows. I have arrived. I have arrived at the end of the chat. I made it. Although Jason and Ken are working on it to keep me going. We have to come to an end, my friends. Yeah, exactly. Linux boxes. 95% of the internet runs on Linux boxes. It's just for the end user. I feel it doesn't have completely arrived where Billy and Stevie OS are. But it's getting there. The latest versions of Ubuntu and Mint, and I recently heard Leo mention some other pretty cool Linux distribution. They've come a far way since I've played with that stuff. Personally, I like FreeBSD. Thank you, my friends. I plan for 1 hour, and then I know I cannot get it done in 2 hours. So I'll read some poems for you to finish off. Max und Moritz or something else? You post me something in the chat room, and I'll find something cool. I'll read that. Apart from that, Wilhelm Busch, Let's see what else he has. Not sure if this is against the copyright, if I read that stuff. I hope you're okay with that, Wilhelm. See, that's how he looks. Mr. Wilhelm Busch, why are you so small and black and white? German painter and poet. Gedichte. Gedichte von Wilhelm Busch. Rätsel des Tages. Forward zu Max und Moritz. Das Lied vom dicken Fritz. I think that's funny too. Seelenwanderung des Vollmond. Das spröde Mädchen. Es lebt ein heiligen Maler. Das Lied vom dicken Fritz. No. Where's this thing where he doesn't want to eat the soup? Nein, meine Suppe esse ich nicht. That is funny. Nein, meine Suppe esse ich nicht. Is it von Wilhelm Busch? Der Suppenkasper. Exactly. Let's read that. Okay. Poetry. So, how do I do this the best way? So you can still see me. And for those of you who want to read along, you can also see the lyrics. So, it's the tale of Suppi Kaspar. Die Geschichte vom Suppenkasper. Der Kasper, der war kerngesund, ein dicker Bub und kugelrund. Er hatte Backen rot und frisch, die Suppe aß er hübsch bei Tisch. Doch einmal fing er an zu schreien. Ich esse keine Suppe, nein, nein, meine Suppe esse ich nicht. So he is now English and French, I believe. Nächste Strophe. Am nächsten Tag, ja sieh nur her, da war er schon viel magerer. Da fing er wieder an zu schreien, ich esse keine Suppe, nein, ich esse meine Suppe nicht, nein, meine Suppe esse ich nicht. The translation is funny too. Am dritten Tag, oh weh und ach, wie ist der Kasper dünn und schwach. Doch als die Suppe kam herein, gleich fing er wieder an zu schreien. Ich esse keine Suppe, nein, ich esse meine Suppe nicht. Nein, meine Suppe esse ich nicht. Am vierten Tage gar, der Kasper wie ein Fädchen war. Er wog vielleicht ein halbes Lot und am fünften Tage war er tot. I think that's the story. Does it continue? Yeah, so that's it. So, die Moral der Geschichte: Isst du deine Suppe nicht, bist du am fünften Tage tot. So always remember, my friends, eat your soup. See you later. Oh, we forgot the center part. What do you think? Who deserves classic Alienware flight controllers? Brushed Alienware. Revision 2 point something, I believe. Designed by Lance. So, Yeah, please post your suggestions in the comment section of the video, and I'll find some way to send them to people. I know where you live, all of you, so don't worry about sending me addresses. Just tell me, how should we figure out who is getting the ancient flight controllers? They have their issues, I admit that, but they have some incredible nostalgic value, and they fly pretty well. So yeah, please leave me in the description. What should Micromotor Santa do with the ancient alien brains? La 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 la.
La 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 la. Dee dee da dee da dee. La 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 la.
Yes, you can.
La 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 la.
La 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 la.